to get your fix.
Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready to get your fix?
With the Wicks here on this beautiful Friday, January 21st, 2022. And thank you for joining me today, whether that be on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, hit that like button, send that out, share it, whatever you got to do. If you're on YouTube, hey, hit that subscribe button and continue to watch the journey as we embark every day, continuously on the daily show here with your host, obviously me, all right, the Wicks. But today, not really a lot to talk about. Obviously, that's kind of been the whole story of the week. Not a lot to dive into, and we find a way to kind of nitpick a little, get a little bit of ideas from different sources and different things and kind of talk about and dive into the world of football. But today really isn't, not that much to talk about. There's a couple pieces revolving around general managers around the league. We got one officially got signed to a team. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Minnesota Vikings GM candidate search and their interviewing process, what's going on in that area and that scene over there for the Minnesota Vikings. But really all today was kind of about getting people that are injured on these 8 teams currently in the playoffs, getting them off IR and potentially being ready to play Saturday or Sunday, right? Because we got 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. I can't wait. I hope you guys can't wait because, man, football is great, especially at this time of year. Granted, there is only 7 total games left of the season, not counting the Pro Bowl, okay? With the Pro Bowl, there's about 8 games total, obviously, with that Pro Bowl one there. I haven't really heard who the captains are going to be. I think Luke Kuechly is going to be one of the captains, former linebacker, middle linebacker of the Carolina Panthers. He had a very short career, but in my opinion, probably it's going to be tough, but maybe a Hall of Fame career as well. I think he has a Super Bowl ring with them. All-time leading tackler, I want to say. Probably wrong on that, but he was an absolute beast and stuff. So today, like I said, was just, all right, let's look at who is on our injured reserve list. Are they ready to rock and roll? Let's get them activated. They should be playing this weekend, so we'll kind of dive into that as well. Briefly, basically, we're going to do that when I give you not only my game picks for the divisional round, but Y4 or John's game picks for the for the divisional round, and Logan Dynamite Baumgart, who's also hasn't been on the show for quite some time, but he was here on Fantasy Football Fridays, where today is Friday Football Talk. Had to put a little ring on there, even though it's football, So let's dive into things. Are you ready to get your fix? So like I mentioned, there's a lot of GM candidate searches going on, interviews and stuff like that kind of happening. Well, the Giants have found their new general manager going forward. Hopefully it's a change of scenery over there. Hopefully their team kind of heads in the right direction. But the new general manager of the New York Giants is a former assistant general manager, or pretty much a sidekick for the general manager of the Buffalo Bills. Congratulations to Joe Schoen, even though it's spelled completely different than it would sound, okay, Shane, and the name is like Schone. I mean, it just looked kind of weird, okay, but Schoen is now the Giants' new general manager. Hopefully, like I said, things start to turn around in New York because they've been pretty much irrelevant since, obviously, Eli Manning was their quarterback however many years ago that was, 10, 12 years ago or something like that. And I know it's been quite a while, okay? It's been some time since we've seen Eli Manning in a Giant uniform, but the Giants are hopefully headed in that right direction, obviously, where they haven't been going in the past couple of years. So good, congratulations for them. Now their next step, I believe, is finding a head coach. which with getting your GM set up and getting him hired, he has time to kind of go evaluate the head coaching candidates and interview them, see who he likes the best, see who he would want to lead that organization, and then kind of go from there. Other news around the general manager candidates or teams that need general managers, the Minnesota Vikings, from what it seems like, have narrowed down their general manager finalists. There's 2 of them. One of them, all right, I'm not the owner. I'm not going to be in that hiring process and stuff. But it seems like they have found their 2 finalists who will potentially be the new general manager for the Minnesota Vikings and hopefully send us in the right direction and make us a continuous playoff team and a fighter for the Super Bowl. So, according to Courtney Cronin, who is a Minnesota Vikings reporter for ESPN.com, so she has some credibility. She went and tweeted that the Vikings have their finalists for the GM opening. Second interview request will go out, and a decision should be made relatively soon. With they hire 2 candidates with very different backgrounds, and that was a comment right after Tom Pelissero said the hashtag Vikings are requesting second interviews with Chiefs Executive Director of Player Personnel Ryan Poles and Browns Vice President of Football Operation. I'm going to butcher this probably, but I'm going to get as close as we can. But his name is Kwesi Odofu-Mensah for their general manager job. So hopefully I said his name right. Probably didn't. Okay, probably got the second half of the right, but you get the gist. Okay, we have 2 candidates. Or gist. Sorry, John. You get 2 candidates for the Minnesota Vikings GM opening or job or whatever, and that's going to make it a lot easier to hire a coach. We just had a meeting with Todd Bowles today, defensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are in the playoffs as we speak. So, with that being said, I think it's going to be time to kind of dive into our game picks. Like I noted earlier, there really wasn't anything that happened spectacular today other than the Giants hiring Joe Shane, their new general manager, and the Vikings kind of narrowing down their finalists for their GM opening as well. But 8 teams live and are the only ones left in the 2021-2022 NFL season. We have the Rams, the Bucks, the 49ers, the Packers, the Titans, the Bengals, the Chiefs, and the Bills. 7 games left, not counting the Pro Bowl. We have got to make our game picks, or at least I have got to make the game picks. I have John's, I have Logan's ready to rock and roll. So we'll start with Saturday's slate of games. There are 2 of them. One is starting at 3:30, the other at 7:15 Central Standard Time. The first of those being the Tennessee Titans taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. This game, we dived into it yesterday. It's going to be pretty fun to watch because a lot of people are not talking about the Tennessee Titans. They got the first seed in the playoffs. They're kind of, very underrated at this point in time. Nobody really thinks of them as a superpower or a super team that goes out there and really is just going to steamroll a team. Because, listen, they've had over 80-plus people start on their roster this season. So they've had to deal with a lot of injuries. But dealing with all those injuries, dealing with that many people in your starting lineup, to get the first seed, that's incredible, especially doing without King Henry in the backfield for the majority of the season. He had a broken foot early in the year, and it seems as if he's going to be playing this weekend or on Saturday, so tomorrow, because he has been activated off IR after breaking his foot a couple months ago, it seems like at this point. And this is going to be the first time since, I believe, Week 7, we dove into that also yesterday, where Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, and Derrick Henry will all be on the field at the same exact time. So that's going to be a lot of firepower there for Tennessee to have this weekend. It's going to be a good one. Cincinnati with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, they've been spectacular all season. Man, I really don't know who to pick on this one. This is going to be a very tough game. I'll give you John and Logan's pick here. It seems as if both of them are going with the Tennessee Titans. And that's a pretty solid pick. They haven't played in the playoffs yet, but what the Bengals were able to do Week 1 against the Raiders in the wild card matchup or wild card round was, phenomenal, to say the least. First victory in 31 years in the playoffs. I mean, congratulations to them. But I think during this regular season, you kind of seen them do really, really well. Really, really well. Then all of a sudden, they just have this little, decline in production where they're not really putting up points on the board. Their defense just is not all there. Trey Hendrickson will be playing for their defense on their defensive end, so that's going to be interesting to see on itself and stuff like that. So Joe Mixon's also going to be in their running back position. CJ Uzama is going to be their tight end. Man, with King Henry back, that it seems Ian Rappaport, he did go out and say via the Pat McAfee show that expect Derrick Henry to be closer to 100% than he was when he actually started the season. So that must say something. That must mean he's ready to rock and roll. He's ready to be like what Cam Akers was last week when he had his ridiculous, performance, and what he was able to do was just nuts. So, man, this is a tough one. Give me the Bengals. I'm going to take the Bengals on this one. I like the hype train that the Bengals have been able to have the entire season. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase have done phenomenal things for their organization. They got their first win in 31 years. It would suck if it ended, but I mean, at the same time, I think the city of Cincinnati would be like, okay, hey, it's one step in the right direction. We're not taking two steps back. We're in the playoffs. We won a game. Yeah, we lost, but at least we made it to the divisional round. Next year, let's try to make it a little bit further. But something about that team, just they have a lot of momentum at this time. They rested their starters 2 weeks ago, so that their back position group with Derrick Henry is going to be a lot better. But after not playing for so long, I wonder if there's going to be a little bit of jitterness. So I'll take the Cincinnati Bengals, while John and Logan will take the Tennessee Titans. Next game, the last game, Saturday Night Football at 7:15 Central Time. We got the Green Bay Packers taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Couldn't be more excited for this one because all season I've basically been saying the Packers are the team to beat. Good luck doing so when it is your time to try and defeat them. They got home field advantage. They're at Lambeau. Jimmy G, listen, he hasn't started a football game with weather that has been under 32 degrees or something like that, or 26 degrees. So he hasn't played in single-digit degree weather, and that scares me. That kind of puts the frosting on the top of the muffin for me. It's like, okay, perfect, or a cupcake. Why would you put frosting on a muffin? All right, you get what I'm trying to say there. Don't put frosting on a muffin. If you do, whatever. But, I mean, it better be double chocolate chip or something stupid like that to have that on there. But Jimmy G, he has a torn ligament in his thumb, and his hand is really, it's going to make it really hard to grip the ball in that cold weather, single-degree weather, where Aaron Rodgers is, I mean, he's dealt with it with his toe. I'm not really sure what happened with that whole situation while he injured it while he was on quarantine for COVID. But Green Bay's getting healthy. They literally just activated Zadarius Smith, who was kind of a big question mark this entire season. When the fuck are we going to put him in the lineup? They finally did that. Him and Whitney Merciless are back. David Bakhtiari and Jareer Alexander are kind of the only question marks I see, but at the same time, it sounds as if they're going to be ready to go Saturday night or tomorrow night to play this game. But with Debo and with all that the 49ers have, I think the 49ers are going to make it a game, but just like John and Logan have picked, we're all taking the Green Bay Packers. I just don't see them losing this ball game. Home field advantage. They're going to go right back to the NFC Championship game, and I hope they don't blow it again. But we all got the Green Bay Packers. So let's shift over to Sunday football. We have the last two matches. First game being played at 2 o'clock. That's correct. 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, not noon. They moved it up or back a little bit to kind of get everybody ready to rock and roll to watch some football, because let's be honest, a lot of folks, football fans, they don't like to get up early on Sunday and they miss the noon game. They're all pissed. They're like, fuck, I didn't know the Vikings played on that. Well, do your research, buddy. Quit boozing on Saturday. Maybe you'll be able to get up. Even though I find a way to get up every single time, okay? At about 10 a.m., I'm up ready to rock and roll, watch football. But 2 p.m. is the first game. That'll be the Bucks and the Rams. The second game will be the Bills and the Chiefs at, I think, is 5:30 p.m. So the game is a little bit moved up. Instead of at 7:15, it's at 5:30, so we'll have a nice night. You'll be able to dive into your bed a little bit quicker and sooner than you normally would, so that's awesome. There's no Monday football, obviously, because there's 4 games. So let's dive right into it. The first game, 2 o'clock Central Time, Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Los Angeles Rams. This is going to be a fun one. We've seen what Cam Akers can do. We've seen that Matthew Stafford had a ridiculous performance in the wild card round. They're coming to Tampa ready to rock and roll. It sounds as if Ronald Jones, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back, is not going to be playing as well as Brashad Perryman, their wide receiver. He won't be playing in this game. So Leonard Fournette, I expect him to get a lot of carries. Gronk is going to get a decent amount of looks, obviously, with what he's been able to do in his chemistry with Tom. He's going to be one of the major targets for Tom Brady out there. Scotty Miller, who knows what's going to happen with him. Mike Evans, I hope he has a day. This is going to be a very tough-nosed, hard-fought football game. I mean, this is probably going to go right down to the wire unless, like Super Wild Card Weekend, some blowout happens, and that very well could happen. I mean, the best of the best are going to be, there's only going to be 2 teams, and one from each side, the AFC and the NFC side, that finally make it to the Super Bowl and have a chance to be remembered forever, basically. So that's going to be a fun game. There's really not much more to talk about it because literally they have all their pieces set up real nice. They're ready to rock and roll. We've seen what the Rams had last week. We've seen what Tampa did last week. This is going to be one of those matchups where you're just going to have to watch to kind of figure out. But me, John, and Logan are all going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on this one. I can't go against my boy Brady. You can't doubt him in the playoffs. It's going to be Tampa, Green Bay in the NFC Championship game, and I cannot wait. Back-to-back years this is going to happen. Tampa came on top or was on top last time, and now let's see what happens potentially if Green Bay and Tampa make it to the NFC Championship. What happens then? All right, so we all got Tampa Bay for that pick. And the last game of the divisional round before the AFC and NFC Championship games. Probably the most electrifying game that I am excited for. Gonna be high scoring. Offenses are gonna be going nuts. I cannot wait, hopefully. The Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Buffalo Bills. Bills have the number 1 ranked defense, so that only says good luck, Kansas City. But Kansas City, we've known what they're capable. They can put points on the board just like that. In the blink of an eye, all of a sudden it could be 21-7. Bills are leading, and then all of a sudden Patrick Mahomes just fucking flips this switch, and now you're looking at a 28-21 game. Chiefs are winning, and they're on a roll. They're starting to put points on the board. Now we really gotta kind of just to take a step back and be like, all right, what the fuck is going to happen here at the end of the game? So this is going to be a fun one, electrifying game. Everyone's healthy, it seems like. Willie Gay, he did get arrested for breaking a vacuum cleaner and assaulting something. I really didn't look in it. I just seen the vacuum cleaner and I just kind of chuckled, and that was about it. He is activated. He's ready to play. He is the Chiefs, the linebacker. So both teams are healthy. Both teams are ready to rock and roll. We've seen what the Bills were capable of doing against the New England Patriots, beating them 47-17 in the wild card round. Absolutely dominating performance. The Chiefs did the same thing to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, just demolished them in the wild card round. So it's going to be exciting. This is also one of those games where it's like you're going to have to watch to find out. Otherwise, you can wait till the end and get the final score. But I mean, this is going to be one to watch for sure because it's a rematch of the AFC Championship game last year where we talked about it. Stephon Diggs waited on the field afterwards. It kind of looked. But for this one, John has the Buffalo Bills winning this game, and I can understand why. And Logan has the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be a tough one. Give me the Bills. Give me the Bills. Early in the season, before the season even started, my Super Bowl pick, we talked about it yesterday, was the Bills taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's 55, 60 points probably in this ball game. I mean, it could end up being a 42 to 35 point game, right? I mean, it literally could be that close. It could be a touchdown. And what the Bills were capable of doing last week, 7 touchdowns on 7 straight drives, phenomenal performance by them. Kansas City, they're dominant in their own right. So it's going to be an electrifying one. I cannot wait. This is going to be a fun divisional round. And that is basically all I have for you guys today. because, like I said, we just had to make our picks. Everyone was just kind of getting activated off IR. One GM was hired. Vikings have finalized their 2 candidates and scheduling second interviews with them. So that is all we have for you, or all I have for you guys today. Go enjoy the rest of your weekend. Watch some playoff football because it's going to be a good one. And finally, I feel like it's going to start to feel like playoff football as well. So have a great one. We'll be back here Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time, like always, on Facebook and YouTube to discuss what the exact fuck just happened in the divisional round. So have a great one, you guys, and you just got your fix with the Wicks. Hit that subscribe button. All right, hit it. All right, see you later.